Hi, this is the Sign Now training webinar for Fort Worth Housing Solutions. I'm Kristen Sullivan. I'm going to ask our guest, Trevor Moriarty, to introduce himself and to tell you a little bit about where he actually is sitting in America and how that summer is going up there. Trevor, you introduce yourself and take it away. I'll be monitoring the chat and Q&A, and we might pause and ask questions in between segments, if that's all right with you. Okay, take it away.
Great. Thank you for the introduction. So yeah, thanks everyone for having me. My name's Trevor. I live in Portland, Oregon. It is nice and humid out today. But yeah, I moved from the Bay Area where most of our sales team is located, San Francisco Bay Area. And then the company as a whole, we're headquartered in Boston. So we got pretty good coverage across the whole US. I've been with the team now for about 2.5 years, and I started as a sales development rep and then moved from sales to kind of our post-sale success team, where my role is to help folks like you learn how to get the most value out of our products. Cool. Yeah, so that is me. Again, appreciate you guys for letting me train you here. Cool. We'll just jump in.
Go for it. Go for it, Trevor. Thank you.
Yeah. So this is your SignNow dashboard. There's a couple of things. So you'll be able to access this just by typing in signnow.com, logging in. It's going to pull you into a dashboard that looks just like this, maybe without the documents here. But there's a couple of important things just from this dashboard to discuss. On the left-hand side, you see these tabs right here. Documents, templates, shared templates, document groups. Those are the 4 basic functions of SignNow. A document is a one-off document. Say you just have, one document that needs to be signed. It's not something you're using over and over again. You would just upload it, leave it as a document, add your fillable fields and route to be signed. I'll pull up our editor in just a second and show you how to do that. From there, you have your templates. These are documents that you're going to be using over and over again. You guys were kind enough to provide a document that is frequently used, so I set up some fields on that. Again, you guys would be using this all the time, so you would just access that from here in your template folder. When you invite to sign, you'll be able to continue reusing this template. From there, you have shared templates, shared documents. These are, you can create teams within SignNow. So say you're part of the sales team or part of the HR team. Your manager or admin can create that team and then make documents available to everyone that's a part of that team. So I'll go ahead and click in on one. You can see here our sales team templates. And these are documents that people from our sales team have to send out frequently. The benefit to this is me being just a member, I wouldn't have the ability to edit that document in any way. So basically the admin or, the leader of that team can set up templates that can't be altered, just used, sent out, and routed back for signature. So team templates are wonderful in that regard. Our legal team doesn't appreciate us messing with NDAs from the sales team. So we understand some documents can't be messed with. And then we have document groups. And document groups and document group templates. This would be like if you had a packet to send. I like using HR as an example. When you're hiring someone, you're onboarding a new employee, they might have to sign multiple documents at once. In that case, you would make a document group or document group template if it's reused all the time, like an HR packet would be. And let's click in here. You can see that I just chose a couple of random documents, but they would have all three of these documents sent to them in one email. And then it would walk them through each one in one signing session. You can see send for signing. You choose here. These are all the documents they would get. You route to be signed. So those are the key features of the dashboard. Any questions so far?
I don't see any questions. The very excellent question. Do we have access to this now? Trevor, you said that we can log on to this web-based platform at the URL up there, signnow.com. Is that the way to get there?
Yep.
And what is for all of us at Fort Worth Housing Solutions, what are we using? How do we log in and what's the password?
So great question. You would have your subscription admin go here. They would, when you made the purchase, they would have received an email to set up their account. Once the admin has created an account, they would just click right here in the admin console. It pops open this new page. The admin console kind of gives you some background into your subscription, the different roles, but
can we pause right there, Trevor? Kurt has joined us. Kurt, do you know how we're setting up access on this platform?
Yes, we sent an email out that everybody was supposed to respond to. If they didn't, that's fine. I can go back in and resend those out.
I think that would be great. Would everybody like to receive that after this call? Yeah. We will do that. We'll ask Kurt to send that email out. Okay, Trevor, I don't think that most of us would be using the admin console, correct?
Yeah, that would just be your admin. They would just invite users and then you'd get the email.
Okay.
Being spoken about.
And the website is just signnow.com.
Yep, exactly. Okay. So I believe you mentioned Adobe earlier. Is everyone here new to e-signature completely, or are some folks familiar with other tools?
This is the first time Fort Worth Housing Solutions has used this to the best of my ability. I can't speak for everybody, but they can chat and tell us.
Awesome. Perfect. So that's wonderful. Great news. Happy you guys have moved to e-signature. I think it's extremely valuable and will save a bunch of time.
Trevor, will you pause just a second? And I'll try to round these questions up and we'll do them at the breaks. But Joanna Hudspeth has a good question. She wants to know whether we can use this within the Teams environment.
So I'd need to see what subscription you're on. We do have great Microsoft integrations. So I'll check and see what privileges your subscription allows, and we can go from there. Kristen, I'll sync with you on that. But yeah, we do have great integrations for Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, Dynamics 365, OneDrive, you name it.
Yeah, we've got all of that.
Awesome. Yeah, and we have some other really great tools called this is a conversation for another time. I don't want to get sidetracked here, but our tool AirSlate has you can do multi-cloud integration. So if you wanted to pre-fill a document with Microsoft Teams data, upload the completed document after signing to SharePoint, and then also send a copy to OneDrive, you can automate that whole process. But I digress.
Okay, yeah, and we're going to have a few questions after this, but can you walk us through a sample document again? We have about 44 people on the call, and I think we need to, show them what this would look like in our regular work. Thank you.
Perfect. So let's go back just to real easy to upload a document. First, you're just going to either click here. You can upload from we'll go ahead and do it actually. Let's see, download. Hang actually have it in templates. Notice of change form. So you can upload either by hitting this blue button here or just dragging and dropping a file. It can be any type of file as well. So it doesn't have to be a Word document or anything like that. You could even upload a JPEG to be signed. But so I already went ahead and set up a template. So the step here is you could upload directly into the templates, and then you're going to want to click in to the document. And here's the editor. Great. So on the left side, these are going to be your fields here. Let's see. Okay, great. Yeah. So different fields. Excuse me. Actually, 1 second. I apologize. I need to upload this to the documents section. Notice of change form. Let's go back here. When you upload it to templates, it doesn't give you all of the options available. Come on. Oh, gosh. Apologize, guys. Let me see. Notice of change form. Just give me 1 second to pull this up.
No problem, Trevor. Thank you.
Thanks. Well, I guess this doesn't want to be in my downloads anymore. I've looked. Thanks for your patience, Sam. What I can do. I'm just gonna show you just a document here. I'll just upload one, and then I'll show you your document separately. Just to show you the editor. There we go. Perfect. So upload a document, and here is the options that we have. So on the left side, you have signature, text fields, date, calculated. You can see all the different options here. And then here where it says fill out myself, this is important because this is if you need to actually edit the underlying document. So think of it as the fields are for recipients. Fill out myself is for me changing the actual document itself. So if you needed to say pre-fill a document with some data, you could do that here. Let's see a line item 12. You see you can add text, and this actually edits the underlying document itself. That's great. And then I wanted to show you, let's just have a signer here. If you guys have multiple recipients, this is important. You go here to edit recipients and then add. So when you add recipients, you'll see here, oh, and this CC function is actually really important too. So these will be people that are asked to take action on the document and sign. And this CC function, this is who you add if they just need a copy of the completed document. They don't need to sign it. fill anything out. They just need, say it's your CFO or something. They just need to see it and have access to it after it's been signed. That's who you'd CC. When you save changes to have multiple signers, you can see now you have multiple recipients. They make it real easy for you, color code these things. So you can see blue and then orange. And what happens when you route this document to be signed, only recipient one will only have these fields available to them. And then once they complete, it can either be sent then to recipient two, or you can send it to both of them at the same time. I'll show you how that is done as well. Any questions on the editor? There's a couple other things I'll touch on here, but what do you guys think of the editor? It's pretty intuitive, yeah? All right. No questions that I can see. Oh,
No, Trevor, I'm sorry, I was talking. I'm sorry, I was muted. It's Kristen. Here's some things. There's a more complicated question about the app, so we'll get to that later. We have a question from Nicole. Is there an option to change the default fonts? And you can answer that. And another question is, will this allow a PDF as a template? These
so
are
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
PDF, certainly. Any file type, when you upload it here, will be automatically converted to a PDF. So when you're back at the full SignNow dashboard with the documents, templates, group templates, that whole area, if you drag and drop any type of file, it's going to convert it to a PDF.
Okay. And then some people are noting that the font is small on the screen, and they're asking if you could, yeah, okay. How'd you do that?
Oh, I just zoomed in on my laptop.
Okay.
Oh no. I don't know
Well,
why.
Chris Key is pointing out to the team that really this is going to be used for sending around documents that have previously been filled out and they need approvals and signatures. So if that is helpful.
Okay, so my question to that would be, were they filled out electronically? Were they filled out with wet ink and then you're uploading them or scanning and uploading them? How does that look?
Chris, can you type in? They will be used for forms. This will be used for forms by staff, I think is what she's saying. So we can follow up on that. We'll save these questions in the chat and we can we can share the answers to that. Anna Gaines notes that she'll have to submit tax exemption forms that'll be heavily edited. And then Chris Key notes that mainly we're sharing Adobe PDFs that have to be routed around groups and signed by multiple people.
Okay.
How would that work, Trevor?
Yeah, so if you have that Adobe PDF, you would just upload it to SignNow and you'd pull up this editor we have. And then how many people? Let's say there's 3 people. I'll use that as an example. You can change it. And so I touched on it a little bit, but let's say CFO, or no, we'll not do a CC here. So this is where you set up the multiple signers. And then when we go to actually send it to be signed, that's where you'll be able to set that order, where if you want one person to sign, then the next, then the third, you can set it up so it's sequential, or you can set it up so that all 3 sign at the same time.
So that'd be really helpful. For example, if you were a manager and your director or department head or vice president needed to sign it, and then the vice president needed to sign it, correct?
Exactly. Yep.
Set up a
Exactly.
sequence.
Perfect.
Does
Yeah.
anyone have, let me just look in the chat. Different positions are going to use this very differently. I think that's true. And you're telling us it has flexibility. The system has flexibility to set up who should sign it and in what order, or all at once.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'll show you that in just a second with this document. And I actually did create a template using one of the documents you guys sent over.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm happy to show.
Trevor, this might be a question for, I'm not sure the order you want to answer this, but when will the SignNow roll out the option to delete recent recipients?
Ooh,
That might be in the weeds, but
I can look into that and get back to you. So delete recent recipients as in these right here. Yeah, that's a great question.
and do we want to do that? I mean, isn't it populating the list so that you can?
It might make it easier for you, but if you say you bulk send a lot, you might have a lot of people you don't necessarily send documents to frequently. You know, it might populate this with 100 different people that you bulk sent to. So having that option to delete recent recipients would be valuable. And I can see where we're at with that and get back
Thank
to you.
you. Okay, keep going.
Cool. So yeah, we'll go ahead and save changes here. As you can see, again, just to touch on it, color coordinated fields. We'll do one text field. And then over on the right, this is worth mentioning too. So you have labels, roles. You can choose which signer here, color coordinated. But I wanted to touch on validation and then a couple other things. So we do have some validation here, social security, credit card number, email. And basically what that does is it's set up with different validation types, but as you see right here, it just added that V to the text field, if you guys can see that. And I chose email address. So when someone fills this out, they're going to have to type in an @ symbol and a period somewhere on that. So we have validation in that sense. Social security, obviously, it's going to ask for 9 digits, 3, 2, 4. And at different, that we have different ways of validating this data. So you can ensure you're getting accurate data. If someone enters an email address, you're getting an actual email address. And then this is really cool. It's a great feature. This label field. And this is important. And I think it gets skipped over a lot on demos, but basically this right here, if you're looking at the text field on the left, when you change the label, you see it fills in first name on the left. And this is great because if you guys have a long document with, a bunch of different fields, but say first name is on every page, your people are repeating the same data. You would want to make sure you label each field that is going to repeat later the same. And it is case sensitive, by the way. So capital first, capital name. And then anytime you create this field again down the line, if you make sure the label is the same again, all that signer is going to have to do is click on it. And it'll pre-fill with the same information pulled from the first time they filled it out. So pretty cool there. Any questions about data validation? Unique name field. This is for calculated fields, optional fields. You can set that up. That's a little more in depth, but any questions so far on this? And I'll execute a document now.
Everybody doing all right? I think we're okay, Trevor.
Awesome. Okay. So I set that up as a multi-signer doc.
Trevor, I did have one question come in just as we were talking. Once you add names, do you add them only once?
So you would need to I think they mean the label. When you add labels, you'll need to set up that label every field that requires that label, like first name. If you have another section that has first name, you're going to need to relabel it. But on the flip side, it's the signers who are not going to have to retype in their name. So they'll just, when it comes to, they fill out the first name field. And then when they come to the second first name field, all they'll do is click it and it'll just pull that, the answer from the first one down.
Thank you.
Sense. Cool. So I did set up one of your documents. I'll just show it really quick. I used some data validation here. I labeled all of the fields. You can see. Oh, and there's another very important thing worth mentioning. It doesn't show it here, but as I was just showing that last editor, there's an option that you can check every single box. Here we go. Required or not required. That's very important. So if you have a lot of data or fields that aren't required, you can uncheck that box. I think by default it is required, but you can make sure you're getting the exact answers that you need answered. But let's invite to sign. And there's a couple of other ways to invite to sign as well that I want to touch on really quick. And I apologize if I go over. Let's just send this document first and then great. So here you can see at the same time in order. If I were to send this now, at the same time or in order, you can customize messages, you can add expirations, you can authenticate with two-factor authentication. So if you wanted to password or PIN protect documents, you could do that. Send reminders. Also, you can give people the option to decline signing, allow forwarding, that type of thing. Let's go back. You can add that CC recipient I was talking about, and actions on completion. You can redirect people after signing. So if you wanted them to go back to a homepage you have, or frequently asked questions, when they fill it out and sign, it could pop them into a URL of your choosing. You can also request payments. We have a couple of payment processing company partners. Any questions there? And then I'll send this.
Anyone have any questions for the chat? Think we're okay.
Perfect. Let me actually stop sharing really quick and come back to it with my email. Waiting for that email, and I'll show it. I guess I can talk through while it loads. There's some other awesome features. Once you create a template, you can turn it into a signing link. And basically what a signing link does is it just turns your template into a URL that people could then click. We actually use it internally for a lot of different things. I'll show you. Here's the signing session by standard. Okay. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, looks good.
Perfect. So here you can add your own company logo to this email. You can see ours here, Sign Now. Basically, you click in, and this is the first signer perspective. It'll tell you get started. I didn't make, for the purpose of demoing, I didn't make any of these fields required. It wouldn't let me finish if I did. I had this date locked, but you can see this is how easy it is for signers to fill out. We are mobile native too, so the experience on a phone is very good. A lot of people work with, clients or patients or anything like that that don't frequently sit at a computer. So we are mobile native, that's worth mentioning. And then sign here. Since I've signed a bunch of times, it recognizes my signature, but if it's your first time signing, this is basically what pops up when you hit that signature field. You can type, draw, or upload your signature. I just type, sign, validate. Again, just to drill this point home, you can make these fields required, so I wouldn't be able to hit done until I finish the required fields, but for the sake of time, show you what happens on this end. Cool. And so right here is where you'd be redirected if you chose that. Let's go back. Come on. And so regarding tracking documents, you can see here, it tracks where you are in the signing process. So it says completed, invite email sent, invite expires in a month. That's editable. So it shows you here, and then also you can view with history. Let's see. History. So when you download a document, it will always come with the audit trail of that document. This is what keeps e-signature legally binding. It tracks the email address, time, IP address, and keeps everything, auditable, and your signers are who they say they are. Great. Yep, you can download documents with history. But yep, this is the audit trail. Again, you can also download that with the document. So that is sending a document to be signed. Any question, if you just route by standard means by emailing it, there's another way I wanted to show before we broke here. All right. Cool. The last thing I wanted to show, as long as there's no other questions, is right here.
I do think, well, let's see. I think we're all caught up on questions. Does anyone have anything for Trevor before he moves on to the next item? I think we're good.
Perfect. Great. So this again, right here, it's you hit this button, create invite link. You can do it from the documents tab or a templates tag. But basically all you do is copy this link. You can also create a QR code. If you guys had like an in-person event or something and you needed someone to fill a document out on their phone, you could literally cut this out and tape it somewhere. They can scan it, sign, similar to how restaurants are doing menus these days. Great, but yeah, so the advantage to this, and the reason that I would say our sales team probably uses the signing link most frequently, is you can copy and paste this just into an existing email thread that you already have going. So, you don't have to worry about someone missing it or anything like that, or a spam filter. If you've already opened up that means of communication, you can just copy this link, and someone can click on it and sign it from there and route it back to you. I think those are pretty much the basics. Email to sign, signing link. We also have a bulk invite to sign. Again, I'll send over some other great videos and resources, but anything you guys would like to see that maybe I'm missing?
How did Trevor do, everyone? Was that a good overview and we need to study more? I've got Trevor a little bit of feedback. Many of our clients in the housing department are using their cell phones. So we'd like to know a little bit about the app that goes along with this.
Oh, yeah.
Ideally, our agency's moved away from paper, and we're trying to get people to fill out and submit paperwork online. So tell us about that.
Yeah. So the app works great for, so question, are those people in the housing department, are they just signing documents, or are they actually initiating from a cell phone, like sending a document to be signed?
Nicole, can you follow up on that?
And I guess I can explain, I can explain
They're,
why.
they're filling out forms that we send them. The forms are pretty involved. They're 3 or 4 pages long. Our issue is the app does not work.
Excuse me, what doesn't work? Sorry.
The app.
Oh, you're having issues with the app? Just
Yes.
Oh, great. Well, not great. I will look into that. What kind of issues, if you don't mind elaborating?
Basically, most of our forms we send out via the link for signatures. So we create a link and send it out in the email. When they click that from their phone, the very first page says, download the app. So most of our clients do. I have not had one client be able to complete any of our forms, and we've been doing this for about at least 4 or 5 months now. Every time they call me and say, it won't let me do this, or I get through the end and then it disappears, or it won't let me submit. My first question now is, are you doing it in the app, or are you doing it from your browser? And every one of them is trying to do it from the app.
Okay.
So we have instructed them when they click the link to scroll down where it says sign with your mobile browser. And if they have downloaded the app, they actually have to delete it so that they will be able to just go through their browser on their phone and complete our forms.
Cool. So Nicole, I can make your life easy here. We have the ability, that's a back end feature we can turn off. It's called, we can turn on our mobile only setting. So they will only have the option to sign via the website. So when they'd have to click that link and not be prompted to download the app. Happy to turn that on if it'd be helpful.
That would be perfect as of right now, because I don't know why the app doesn't work, but it's with everyone who's tried to download it.
Got
Hey,
it.
Trevor, let's make sure that I connect you and Nicole following the call so that you can follow up with her directly, and I'll loop Kurt in on that so that our IT team is aware.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
Let's see. Anybody else have any questions, any difficulty? I'm not seeing a lot. Everybody else okay? Trevor, was there a last section that you wanted to go through? No.
I think that's all good. If there's specific need for other use cases like bulk invite to sign, just let me know, and we can either set up another training, or I can send over those resources to you.
That sounds good. Does anyone else have any final thoughts on how we might use this or how this might help? Trevor, we really have appreciated your time today. And we'll look for those resources, that email from you, and distribute it to our team. Appreciate you taking the time. Sorry about the heat in Portland.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you guys so much for having me. I am always available, except this morning, I guess. I apologize about that. But yeah, please reach out to me. Any questions, anything I can do to help. I'm here for you guys.
Thank you so much. Okay, thank you all. Good participation today. You almost had half of our staff. So thank you very much, everyone who signed on. Here's just a thank you from the team. Trevor, we appreciate you.
Of course.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.